Music from this episode is available on the Twin Peaks Evangelion Spotify playlist. Check the show notes for a link.
Hey, Vinny.
Hey, Craig.
I got a question for you.
Yes?
I was watching the episode of Evangelion last night, the one where, Unit 1, I think, goes apeshit and, just it rips the shit out of that angel.
Oh, yeah.
And it got me thinking. So I don't know if there's a canonical answer for this, but I wanted to just run it by you anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so essentially Ava's a kind of like an evolved form of humans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we've sort of seen that they can eat, they can bleed, and they can sort of vocalize. So what I'm wondering is, do Avas shit?
Ooh, that's a very good... Oh, it has to be huge if they do.
Yeah. But I mean, we've only ever seen an Ava eat once, I guess, in that thing, so... I don't know, do the restraints or whatever, how do they, or maybe the LCLs kind of sustains them or something?
Yeah. Because
they don't need to
LCL
eat?
is essentially like Lilith piss, so
yeah.
it just keeps them alive.
I don't know. I was too scared to Google it, so maybe...
Oh god, Craig, yeah, don't Google image search anything with Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yeah, lots of links to this site called DeviantArt, which I'm not familiar with, but anyway, if you know the answer to this question, hit us up. Our email is tp@gmail.com. And welcome everybody to Twin Peaks Evangelion, perhaps the most niche episode of our already, incredibly niche podcast.
We strive for excellence, everybody.
Vinny, what are we doing here today?
So, Craig and I are going to cast the live-action Neon Genesis Evangelion films that David Lynch would direct with only people that have appeared in either Twin Peaks, the original series, Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me, the film, or Twin Peaks The Return.
I guess you could call this our Casting Couch episode, and Casting Couch being an expression that I definitely had heard in the past somewhere, but couldn't remember exactly where, and then had to have an interesting conversation with our HR representative after I Googled it at work. So
yeah, I've done extensive research with videos about casting couches, so I'm an expert as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So after we recorded the Evangelion series wrap-up, I think I confided in you, Vinny, that I was really scared that during the course of that episode that you were going to ask me to cast a live-action Ava movie. And I was scared mostly because I don't really follow movie news all that closely, and I kind of have this limited knowledge of which actors are sort of working at the moment. So I think I made a joke to you about how I could only probably name people that were in Twin Peaks. But then we sort of got thinking about, maybe they could play this character and maybe they could play this character, and we just sort of thought, shit, is this crazy enough of an idea to turn into an actual episode? So here we are. So just we came up with a few little ground rules just to sort of guide the conversation. Basically, we're going to cast all the characters that are listed on the Wikipedia page titled List of Neon Genesis Evangelion Characters. So that's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is that the actors that we choose for these roles could be from either Twin Peaks Season 1 or 2, Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me, the film, or Twin Peaks The Return. Rule number 3 is that in making these choices, these casting choices, we will completely disregard really arbitrary things like the actor's age, the actor's gender, whether or not the actor is alive currently or not. And finally, we kind of have to, just for content's sake, we have to justify our decision to each other and sort of explain the thought process behind why we picked these particular actors to play these particular roles. So, anything we want to get out of the way before we get cracking with it, Vinny? Or should we just jump right in?
I think we should just jump right in, because this is going to be fun.
All right. going off the list of Neon Genesis Evangelion characters in order, it's sort of broken into sections of different types of characters. We start off with the pilots. So, big one to start. Shinji Ikari. Who would you cast in that role, Vinny?
Okay, so I think the obvious answer is like Sonny Jim, because I looked up, he's like 15 right now, so let's say if this got greenlit today and just start shooting, then Sonny Jim is probably the ideal choice for Shinji.
Absolutely. Yeah, I had him down as well. Pierce Gagnon is his name. Yeah, and I think you're right. I think he's at the right age, although we're not really totally regarding age as a factor. But yeah, he's kind of got that meek, kind of boyish look. And I think that he could play a sad boy.
And besides Twin Peaks, y'all need to see Looper. That kid is phenomenal in Looper. He can play angry and rageful as well. Because Sonny Jim, he doesn't really express a lot of emotions in The Return. But in Looper, my God.
Yeah, we were texting about that. I had forgotten that he was in that. I didn't realize that it was him that was in that as the kid. I only sort of saw it in the cinemas when it came out. But yeah, that was cool. Good spotting there. All right, let's move on then. Rei Ayanami, and this, fan favorite. Who did you kind of pick as this for this casting?
So I was thinking, because one, Rei is almost like a dual or almost a triple character, because you got different Reis throughout the development of Evangelion. A nice quiet Rei, a nice demanding Rei, and also Rei has to look like the mom Yui Ikari. So I was kind of thinking, like, who could do all of that? And I was switching between Laura Dern and Naomi Watts. So I want to discuss this. Who do you think would be a better Rei between them, or if you have someone else in mind?
Out of those two? Well, I do have someone else in mind, but out of those two, I think probably Laura Dern has a slight edge. If those were the factors that you were looking at, and in terms of the duality of the characters or the the different things, I think she's probably had maybe more experience with that kind of character. And I'm thinking primarily about Inland Empire. Although Naomi Watts did play two quite distinct characters in Mulholland Drive, I think the extremes of Laura Dern's characterizations in Inland Empire probably gave her a slight edge. So out of those two you've selected, I would probably pick Laura.
Who did you have in mind?
Who did I have in mind? You're going to enjoy this. I had Amanda Seyfried.
Oh, fuck.
Who played Becky. Yeah. She's kind of got that sort of mysterious quality. And I don't know if you've seen the show she was in, The Dropout, where she plays the Theranos Blood Woman. She can do kind of like stunted emotion quite well. There's a famous scene in the first episode of The Dropout where she's a college student going to a college party, and she's kind of practicing how to like be excited in front of a mirror, and she's sort of going there like, and this deadpan voice going sort of like, woohoo, woohoo, like this. It's kind of reminded me of Rei a little bit. Dang. So Amanda Seyfried for that one.
I hate that I didn't think of that. Fuck. I think you're right. I think Amanda Seyfried's the way to go.
Yeah, I think she'd be good. All right, now next pilot, another fan favorite, Oscar Langley Soryu. Who would Soryu pick for that?
I would pick Cheryl Lee. I think she can do screaming, especially, but also just like she can play this character that is expected so much from, but ultimately she's damaged by her past. I mean, come on.
Yeah, good pick. That's good. I went in a slightly different direction, but I think I like that a lot. I went with Sherilyn Fenn, Audrey Horne. She's kind of, I'm not going to say the hot young thing, because that would imply that I think 14-year-old Oscar is a hot young thing. No, I think that she does have that sort of quality, and tries to sort of play that sort of minx type role, but is maybe a little bit out of her depth. She's also got a bit of a troubled past, and she's also a bit of an asshole. So yeah, I think Sherilyn Fenn could play that quite well. The fourth children, Toji Suzahara. Who did you Sousa have for that?
I had Dana Ashbrook, because I feel like Bobby can be an asshole, especially in the original series, just like what did you say to me, or like just being very defensive about himself and not really treating the women in his life right when he was young. So that's who I had for Toji.
Nice. No, that's good. That's good. I had Eamon Farron, who played Richard Horn, the asshole kid. Yeah, just because he can play kind of a hothead, but also I think he's got a really interesting kind of facial structure, which I think it doesn't look like Toji so much, but it sort of has that sort of distinction, I guess. So, yeah, I picked him for that. Okay. Kaoru Nagisa.
Okay, Craig. I picked the biggest simp of them all, James.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? James Marshall.
Because look, Kaoru, he's a pure soul, but also he's a simp. He's a simp for like Shinji, and I'm like, who is a simp for love that awkwardly displays through music his love of that other person? And I just thought of James.
Wow, okay. See, I sort of went into this and I think Kaworu was probably the first person that I cast from this because my answer to this, it just seems so fucking obvious when you think about people that have appeared in Twin Peaks. It just seemed like there was a really super obvious casting here. David Bowie, man.
Oh, fuck, you're right.
Yeah, and the only reason I've given is because it's so fucking obvious. Like, he's already kind of an alien. And, he has lots to say about music and, he's got that sort of otherworldly look to him. Obviously if age is not a factor and, mortality status is not a factor. Yeah. Fucking put David Bowie in that role.
Fuck James. Yeah, I'm going David Bowie for Kaoru. Damn it.
The last pilot that we've got on the Wikipedia list, Mari Illustrious Makanami. Who did you have for that one?
I had Heather Graham. Because I think she's very playful and innocent, but also very assertive when she needs to be for Annie. So I think she would be an excellent Mari.
Nice. I actually was toying with Heather Graham in that role, but ultimately I went with... I've got a backup for this as well, but ultimately I went with Madeline Zima from the start of The Return, the Tracy, the girl who gets sliced to pieces by the thing in the glass box.
Yeah. She's
kind of got this sassy, kind of flirty kind of thing going on. She could also kick some ass, I think.
Yeah.
And she's kind of got that right kind of look. She'd look good with a pair of glasses. Yeah. I think Madeline Zima for that. I also had as a backup the actor Malaki Sreenan, who appeared in The Return as a character by the name of Bosomy Woman.
Perfect.
So that's my kind of lol answer for that one. So we've got a big chunk of it out of the way, Vinny. We've cast our pilots. This is good.
The killer's row we have right here.
All right. Move on to the next section of the Wikipedia page, our supporting characters. And these are kind of broken down into further subsections. Starting off with nerve staff. The first of the nerve staff is another big one, Gendo Akari. Now, who did you have for this?
It's Ray Wise, isn't it? It's Ray Wise.
Yeah? Okay. What's your thought process there?
I mean, this isn't really pertinent to Gendo, because Gendo doesn't really show like his tenderness, but Ray Wise is so abusive to his child and can go manic and devoted to his cause that I think that's what Gendo needs, but also he needs that devotion to his love of someone, whereas Ray Wise shows he's devoted to his daughter, whereas Gendo is just ultimately devoted to his wife. I think we need that type of energy for Gendo.
Okay.
What were you thinking?
This might be a bit of a controversial choice, but I reckon Kyle MacLachlan.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I had Kyle for someone else.
Yeah, okay. Well, it'll be interesting to see who that is. Yeah, no, I just think, his characterization as Mr. C, clearly he's cold as fuck. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of what you need for Gendo. But he can also be impassioned. And I'm thinking of the scene where Gendo is, moving heaven and earth to try and get Ray out of the entry plug and, burns his hands to pieces at the same time. So he is sort of showing that tenderness or that kind of desperation in that moment. And I think Kyle's got the goods to pull that off. Next one, Kozo Fuyutsuki. Who did you have for that?
I put Lynch as Fuyutsuki.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, perfect. That'd be great. I was toying with that as well. Yeah, so why Papa David for that one?
The way that Gordon is a supportive character of Cooper, that I think is the way that Fuyutsuki should be played, as in like this guy who like states facts but also has a little bit of sass to him, and I think Lynch has perfectly showed that he can be a good second hand to a main character like that.
Cool. I went with Richard Beymer, Benjamin Horn, for that role. Because I kind of saw in Fuyutsuki, he is kind of an older, kind of like a reluctant mentor for Gendo.
Yeah.
Like he sort of doesn't necessarily like Gendo all that much, but he does kind of play like a mentor, kind of right-hand man, kind of. I also think that just Richard Beymer has shown, and especially in The Return, that he's kind of got this sort of world-weary sense of defeat to him, where he's gone through some shady shit that he's done in the past. Yeah, but ultimately he's at a point now in his life where he just wants to get on with things and just live a quiet life. Yeah. So I think Beymer for that one. Yeah.
Damn, that's good. Did you have Lynch for anywhere else?
I actually didn't, but I'm going to change one of my answers.
Okay, cool.
All right, another big one. Masato Katsuragi. Who did you have down for that one?
Okay, this is where I had Sherilyn Fenn.
Yeah?
Yeah, I just think it's that thing where I saw in Audrey where she very much wants to be an adult and takes charge of her life, but like outside circumstances are always trying to get her to stop that. And I think that's a good thing for a Masato actress to have, is just this want to take control and take command, but ultimately it's all these men who are fucking things up for her.
No, that's good casting. I think I actually like that better than my pick. I picked Madchen Amick, Shelley Johnson, for that role.
Yeah, I thought about Shelley as well.
She's sort of got this, cute hot girl kind of vibe, but also, can do serious and no nonsense when needed. So, I think it would be a bit of a push for her. She would have to really bring her A game to that role, but I think she's got it in her. That's who I had for that. Ritsuko Ikagi. Who did you have down for that one?
I was thinking Peggy Limpton.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd work.
Because it's like the devotion like Norma has for her pie, and this recipe is like, well, that could also be how again Ritsuko goes for her devotion for like to nerve, but also her craft, and ultimately the magi and how it works is just, she's very particular in how things are done.
Yeah, no, you're right. And Norma definitely had, put her business and her work ahead of a lot of stuff in her personal life. And also has a troubled relationship with her mother, let's say, to put it lightly. Norma's mother being a food critic that gives her an honest review, as opposed to Ritsuko's mother who strangles a child. But anyway, I had, and I was going back and forth on a few different characters, a few different actors for this one. Ultimately, I went with Jennifer Jason Leigh. I think she can play that kind of detached, absorbed in her work kind of scientist, but also has hints of a troubled past. There's a movie she was in a couple of years ago, Possessor. Did you see that one?
I have not seen that, no.
It's really cool. Like it's incredibly violent and pretty disturbing, but it's really cool. It was directed by David Cronenberg's son. I think you'd dig it. It's pretty cool. It's worth a watch. Yeah, she was in that. Ryoji Kaji. Who'd you have for this?
This is where I had Kyle.
Yeah.
It just feels right, like just like the man who he's devoted to his work, but also he can have a lot of fun while he's out on assignment. So this is where I pictured Kyle, but also because I had Sherilyn Fenn as Masato. That's where I'm like, ooh, okay, you can play into that dynamic.
Okay, interesting. I had Dana Ashbrook in this role for many of the same reasons. He's got that sort of cool, confident kind of swagger, and he definitely has chemistry with Madchen, so which I think factors in really highly in the casting process. A few of the other, I guess, nerve staff, some of the sort of second tier nerve staff. We have And I had to sort of refresh my memory on who these people were a lot of the time. But we have Makoto Hyuga, who I understand is the dude who kind of has a crush on Masato. Is that?
Yeah, the glasses guy, right?
Yeah. Who'd you have for him?
Well, now I just quickly changed it to James for simping reasons. 'Cause Bowie as Kaoru is better, and now James as the simp who will never get her truly makes more sense to me.
Nice. I had Patrick Fischler, the guy Duncan Todd in Las Vegas, who. Yeah. I thought he kind of gave quite an understated performance. Also, the dude from Mulholland Drive who gets scared to death by the homeless person behind the diner. I think he could just sort of play a shy kind of dude who could have a big crush on somebody like Masato, but would never kind of act on it. But would stay loyal to her until the bitter end. Next up, we have Maya Ikubi, the young woman who works closely with Ritsuko and probably has some sapphic feelings towards her. Who do we have there?
That's where I had Machin Amick, Shelley.
Oh yeah,
because I thought because since I had Peggy Limpton as Ritsuko, it's like okay, we can have them interacting together and play off that. And also,
nice.
I just think that because it definitely in Twin Peaks, Norma is like a motherly person to Shelley, and I think we could just change that a little bit and have that just genuine connection these two actors have and work with that.
I'm just imagining Shelley calling Norma some variation of like cherry senpai or something like that.
Then she hugs her and then Fanta everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the food critic mother comes and she's like, oh, all over the new tablecloths. Maya Ikubi. I had the actress Jane Addams who played the coroner in the in South Dakota. Yeah, I think she's kind of got that sort of wide-eyed, vulnerable look. Sort of soft-spoken, but committed to her work kind of thing. Yeah, I think she could pull that off. And finally, we have a character I don't remember too much. Shigeru Ayoba. I think is he the dude that was playing a guitar at one point? Or hang on, the Wikipedia page sort of describes him as realistic, serious, professional, and emotionally detached. He does not hang out with his colleagues, although he has good relations with them. He's a big music fan and plays the guitar. Oh, he's the one that in EOE kind of gets he sees all the visions of Ray, like the many rays.
Oh, that's right, long hair dude.
Yeah, long hair dude. Yeah, who did you have anyone down for that?
So this is where I'm like kind of grasping at straws. I'm like, I need more people from The Return and my favorite characters. So I picked our man Miguel.
Yeah. Cool.
Because I'm like, I just need Miguel in there, and I couldn't think of anywhere else to put him.
Yeah, I struggled to. I don't think I even ended up placing him, to be honest. But that makes sense. I think for similar reasons, I had George Griffith, who played Ray Monroe in The Return. Yeah. Just because he's emotionally detached. He's a bit of a smug. He's got that real smug face, which I really love. Yeah, so I just put him in that role because again, he's not the most memorable character. Ayoba is not the most memorable character, so yeah, put someone cool in there. That's fine. All right, next kind of section of characters, we have our classmates, starting with Kensuke Aida. Who did you have for that one?
Okay, so I was thinking this was the trouble I had. So I was thinking David Duchovny, but ultimately David Duchovny plays a trans woman. But I'm like, I think David Duchovny being a nerdy person following Nerve works because, like, in X-Files, just so nerdy for the supernatural. Like, ooh, did you know about this?
Yeah, right.
I think Duchovny could be well as a Nerve fanatic for that.
Yeah, nice. I like that. I had because he could. I think he could convincingly play a nerd quite well. I had Jake Wardle, Freddy, the Green Glove kid.
Oh, yeah.
Because I thought he could. He's kind of got that sort of nerdy, like intense, otaku type look. I reckon he could pull that off. What about class rep Hikari Horaki?
Okay, so this is where I had movie Donna. What's her name?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh shit, Moira Kelly.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great casting, actually. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she could totally do that. Yeah, much more than Lara Flynn Boyle. Yeah, that's really good casting, man. That's awesome.
I was proud of that once I figured it out. Like, duh, who's bright-eyed and upbeat, but also has an ultimately tragic end to her misadventures. But yeah, her.
Yeah, right. See, I kind of went with shiny and upbeat as well. I went with Amy Shields, who plays Candy, one of the pink girls in The Return. I think she's a sweetheart, and I think that she could play that really, really well. All right, we then have a list of other characters, so sort of the miscellaneous, and a lot of these are sort of supporting characters and or parents. So we have Naoko Akagi, Ritsuko's mother. Who do you reckon?
I had Grace Zabriskie, Sarah Palmer for that. Because I'm like, well, we need a mom who has a bit of a dark side, so, well, let's get the mom with a huge dark side inside her.
Yeah, absolutely. I had Laura Dern in that role. I think she could sort of give it the sort of the nuanced performance that she needs. I also noticed after I'd made this decision that she has also played a scientist, a mother, and a woman in her previous filmography. Wow. So there you go.
But has she played a supercomputer?
She might not have, but I think she's entirely capable of it. I think she's pretty good. You're saying just because she's played a woman in a film before, she can't? She doesn't have the skills to.
I'm just asking questions.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this question then. Yui Ikari, who would Yui put in that role?
So, I went with Josie.
Oh yeah. What is her name? Joan Chen, yeah.
So, because, first off, there's not much Yui to go off of. Like, we just know, hey, she was a mom and she was good. So I just wanted someone who could bring more to it. So I thought Josie just playing off like this innocent type in the town, but then ultimately having all this shady shit. I think that would be interesting for Yui.
Yeah, that's good. And the added bonus with Josie is she's got experience being absorbed into a non-human form.
I didn't even think of that. That's good.
Obviously,
that's
obviously, Ava Unit 1 is a little bit bigger than a cabinet doorknob, but I think that'll work. I had Cheryl Lee in this role.
I can see. Yeah.
Because she has experience playing a quote unquote ghost, but also just with a big budget film like this or a big budget series like this, I think it would be a really good cameo role. Like it would be one of those notable cameos that you'd get in a property like this. Let's talk about other not great mothers. Kyoko Zeppelin Soryu. So this is Oscar's mother. Who did you have there?
So, I had Catherine.
Oh, yeah.
I think I don't think she would be a good mom. That's probably why her and Pete never had kids. So it's like, that feels right.
So, yeah, Piper Laurie. You wouldn't be worried about her, leaning too far into her Asian stereotype characterization?
I mean, isn't it technically that Oscar's half, like, Japanese? So it's like, she can play the dad, too!
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay. I had Grace Zabriskie in that role for many of the same reasons that you had her down as Naoko. I think she could pull off the psychologically damaged person sort of super well.
Yeah, I can see that.
And she has red hair.
Yeah, that's a plus.
And then we have a character that I didn't remember too much, but kind of has a pretty important role. And this is the character Kiel Lorenz, who I think he's kind of like the head of Sile.
Yeah, the guy with the weird like Cyclops goggles, right?
Yeah, right. Who did you have for that?
So I had Jim Belushi.
Interesting.
Because I was thinking, like, because I was relating it to, like, seeing Jim Belushi the first time, like, this is ridiculous. This man looks ridiculous. But then he does play serious good enough, so I'm like, he can play a character that looks ridiculous but should be taken seriously.
Yeah, okay. Good rationale there. Nice. I went back and forth on this, and this is the character that I sort of had someone in mind for, but might change. I had Ray Wise, because because it's kind of like a small but kind of powerful role, and again, it would be another great sort of cameo moment. And I think with this kind of character, you could either do it as completely over the top or really deadly serious and intimidating, and Ray Wise can absolutely do both. Have you seen Ray Wise does a lot of stuff with like Adult Swim people. He's been on Tim and Eric a few times. He did this really great Adult Swim infomercial called what was it? Like, it was called like Frank Pierre Casino and Resort or something like that. Have you seen this?
No, I've seen a few of his, but I'm not familiar with that one.
You should look it up. It's really funny. It's pitched as like a in-room TV at like this fancy hotel, and it just sort of like shows all the services that they offer, like the pool, which has live dolphins in it, and 4 poolside bars, which are which have an all dolphin wait staff, and just shit like this. It's very funny. It's really cool. We should watch it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and he's great on it. He's really good. But ultimately, I think if I didn't pick Ray Wise for this, I think I would probably put David Lynch in that role.
Yeah.
Just because he's kind of like, the head of everything. Like, he's the brains behind the whole thing.
And he's used to playing characters with mechanical implants.
Yeah. Yeah, Ray Wise or David Lynch. All right. We've waited all this time, Vinny. We're finally here. Who are you putting in the role, the pivotal, important, story-breaking role of Pen Pen?
This one came immediately, Jack Nance, because he's so pure as Pete, and that's what Pen Pen is, pure and fun. So my man Jack Nance can performance capture his way to good Pen Pen.
Okay, nice. Cool, yeah, that'd work. I had Waldo, the bird. Just because I wasn't thinking that technical about it.
Oh, that's good too. God dang it.
Actually, I had a bit of a mean-spirited answer as well. My first thought was Clark Middleton, who played Audrey's husband, Charlie. I thought he might make a good penguin, but I felt a bit mean about that, so I changed it to Waldo.
I mean, that works because, Cheryl Finn is Masato, so, I mean...
Yeah, okay, yeah. I think Masato has a more loving relationship than Pen Pen than Audrey did with Charlie, though.
But I could see Audrey wanting to shove Charlie into a freaking refrigerator, so she's like, get away with you, just close it behind him.
Nice one. And the last character that we've got on the other characters list, and this is someone I had to look up again, was Shiro Tokita, who I think is the guy in charge of the Jet Alone project.
Oh yeah, that dude.
Yeah. Who would you put there?
I put Robert Forrester.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, just symbol of authority, no nonsense, like, let's just get the dang kids, get them off.
Yeah, right. I had Matthew Lillard down for that.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
The scene in the conference where he's talking to, when Retsuko's asking a question and he just sort of gives you that really smug, condescending answer. Yeah, I think Matthew Lillard would have a lot of fun with that one. So yeah.
See, I almost had Matthew Lillard as Kaji as well, because I think like a young Matthew Lillard as Kaji would have been cool as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, some of those lines that Kaji, like the episode I just watched, how he, where he's watering his watermelons while, the Avas are fighting the angels.
Or he's crying how much he loves his watermelons. I love them.
I'm going to take those watermelons to the Caribbean. We were going to go scuba diving.
Scuba with the watermelons.
All right. Now, there's a few extra characters that were in the Rebuild series. Did you cast these?
Oh, like pink-haired girl and all of them on the
video.
I don't even know their names, sir, so I didn't even bother.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I had to sort of do a bit of... I mean, I didn't remember these characters very much, but...
Right.
Yeah, so I did put some casting down, but I mean, we can just sort of breeze through these if you don't have anything. Well, who did you put down as pink hair girl first? Who does have a name, by the way, you liar. Her name, do you know her name? Her name is Midori Kitakami.
Never would have gotten that.
Did you have anyone down to...
So,
who do you think would look good with pink hair?
I was thinking Lucy.
Oh, yeah.
I thought, just voice-wise, I think it matches, but also, when Lucy's serious, you listen, just like how Pink Hair Girl was serious in, Thrice Upon a Time with her gun, he's the manifestation of our doom! I think I could see Lucy as that.
Right, yeah. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, I had Nicole La Liberté, who played Daria in The Return. I think she kind of had... I've kind of written down in my notes, she could play the kind of sneering, I'm too good for this bullshit type. I think she could probably do that. We don't have to go through all of these, but maybe I think maybe the last one we should talk about is maybe Sakura Suzuhara. So this is Toji's little sister who grew up to be a doctor. Did you have anyone down for?
With her, I was thinking series Donna, Laura Flynn Boyle.
Oh yeah,
because I think her assertiveness is what that Donna has. The series Donna, trying to get to the bottom of this, and her being very demanding of Shinji not to get back into Neva, and she'll definitely slap a Shinji to be like, why did you do that?
Yeah, okay. No, I like that. I didn't give this one too much thought, to be honest. But I had down Jessica Saw. Saw. Her name is spelled Szhor, which is similar to Suzuhara in a way. But the reason I've given is because she's cute as hell, and I want to cast her in this project. I think she's beautiful.
Ah, yes, the casting couch spirit. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So she was the woman Renee who James had a crush on, and her husband beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And he got his head caved in by the Green Glove.
Yeah.
So it was that woman. And you know what? I think that is the end of our list. Well, it's not quite true. It goes on to Detective Evangelion Battlefield, Neon Genesis Evangelion RPG, The White Nerve Paper,
all those,
Secret of Evangelion, and then it goes into Cultural Impact, Critical Response.
Does it have the dating sim Girlfriend of Steel on there?
I haven't even heard of, Critical Response. That must be a light novel or something. Merchandise, Legacy. Yeah. No, it doesn't have Girlfriend of Steel in there. Would you have made any changes to your casting if Girlfriend of Steel... Well, actually, I've just found Girlfriend of Steel, the Wikipedia page, so let's just have a quick look at that. Oh, Jesus. Story. 14-year-old Mana Kirishima is transferred to Shinji Ikari's school, and almost immediately they begin to form a special relationship. This provokes much jealousy in Oscar, who also suspects that Mana is a spy who is trying to get information from Shinji about Nerve and the Avas. Rei Ayanami is present, but plays a rather background role in the story, though she does seems to agree with the suspicions of Oscar. Gradually, a relationship between Mana and Shinji unfolds as they end up going on a date. It turns out, however, that Mana is one of 3 test pilots for the Trident, alternatively named the Country Crawler units, a new competitor to the Evangelion similar to Jet Alone, thus the name Girlfriend of Steel. Eventually, the Trident goes berserk and the Evas have to destroy it. Spoilers for Girlfriend of Steel, damn.
Dude,
sorry,
I've tried to watch a playthrough of this game so many times, and I'm like, this is ridiculous, I'm not watching this shit.
But Vinny, Girlfriend of Steel won the 1997 Best Interactive Software Animation Kobe Award. And the PlayStation Portable version of the game sold 4,603 copies on the week of its release.
Great, yeah. Screw Shin Godzilla getting Best Picture and Best Director. This is the real accomplishments Ano's proud of.
God. Imagine being one of the 4,000 people that bought this.
Right?
Hey.
Well, there's a reason why it was only 4,000. It was only released in Japan. They're like, we can't send this out anywhere else. They're gonna think this is a mockery of everything. But one thing I wanted to, because I did cast Jet alone as the fireman. He could just keep walking.
Oh, yes! That's great. Yeah.
So
I was
good.
actually thinking, do we go down the route of casting like angels and Avas and stuff like this? But I mean, we've only got a limited pool of things to.
That was
get
the
through.
only other extra-dimensional being I casted was the fireman as Jet alone.
It's
Because I was thinking realistically, let's say if the Weta live action did get made, I think they would have gotten Andy Serkis to performance capture all the angels.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You could have. I'm just looking up the angels there. I think Sachiel, which is the one with like the long nose thing.
Mm-hmm.
You could have the jumping man. As
Oh
that.
shit!
That
You're
weird
right.
thing
The
with
mask.
Yeah, you could have that. You could have.
Yeah, who's the evil penis angel?
Yeah, the Wikipedia page doesn't have pictures of most of these angels, which is annoying because I don't know them by their
Right, biblical
Hebrew
names. Who knows that?
Yeah,
I just know Ramiel because best one.
because it's what the diamond thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could have the thing from Part 8 that spews out the stream of goop.
Oh,
that
Slender Man. Yeah.
Bob was in. Yeah, the Slender Man thing. Maybe that could be one of the angels.
Yeah.
Maybe the one that shoots out the ribbon things. You could have. What else?
You could have David Bowie as a giant tea kettle as Ramiel.
Yeah, you could do that. You could have the orb that Bob is in Part 17 as the weird ball thing.
Holy shit! This works. This is getting too good.
Leliel. Yeah, you could do all that.
Oh
Yeah, I reckon there's ways to do it.
This is too good. Oh shit.
All right.
So Netflix, if you just listened to this and you're about to give David Lynch a bunch of money to do live action Ava, feel free to take all these ideas.
Did I show you the video of what's his name? Richard Taylor, I think, the guy from Weta Workshops who, was doing like the announcement of it was like a pitch video.
Yeah, that pitch video. It's him in the theater just talking about it.
Yeah.
That video? Yeah, I've seen that video.
Yeah, he's clearly reading off cue cards because he doesn't know what the hell he's what any of this stuff means. And he's got the thickest New Zealand accent. It's so cringy to listen to. He's like, we're really excited to be able to bring Neon Genesis Evangelion to the silver screen. It's so bad. I'll see if I can find a link to it.
Think that was the special features for the original DVD pressings of this show and of Ava. That was a special feature. Listen to this madman talk out of his ass for a live action project that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's the same thing every time I see Peter Jackson try to say the word telepathic.
Telepathic. Yeah.
Telepathic.
Yeah. Happy to be corrected, but I've been told that my New Zealand accent is not that strong. I lived in Australia for a while, and they sort of, when I said that I was from New Zealand, a lot of people would go, "Oh, really? Oh, wouldn't have picked that up."
Yeah, I didn't see you fucking a sheep, so yeah.
Yeah, it's what happens behind closed doors. We don't all do that in public, Vinny.
The weirdest fucking stereotype I ever heard. Yeah, they're just a bunch of sheep fuckers.
Yeah, well, it's because the sheep outnumber us about 5-1.
And that's how you deter them?
Anyway, well, with quantity comes opportunity, I guess. Anyway, we've talked enough about this nonsense.
Casting couch.
Yeah, as long as it's not a wall couch. Okay, we need to stop this now. We need to stop.
Oh shit!
Let's knock this off now. This is too much of this nonsense.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts about our theoretical live-action Evangelion film, which is not going to happen?
Just that David Lynch deserves like a $500 million budget and just let him do whatever.
I wonder what would happen if you tried to sit David Lynch down in a room and tried to get him to watch Evangelion. Like, Because I don't think that he even watches that much.
Right.
Like he doesn't. Like, he probably doesn't watch that much TV or films. I don't think. Imagine him trying to make sense, what would he say if you showed him End of Evangelion or something?
I think just start it at the nonsense and hope he gets attracted to it. Either start him at End of Evangelion nonsense or show him the crazy parts of 25 and 26 and hope that he's like, that's interesting. Because you can't just show him episode 1. It's so normal. It's just like, hey, kid, get in the robot. Like, yeah, I've seen 1,000 animes that start like that. Gotta get him straight into the craziness.
David Lynch, has probably seen thousands of animes that are just like that. He's as big of an anime fan as Frank Sinatra was.
I saw this on Darling and the Franks. This is bullshit. Gurren Lagann is better.
All right. Let's close it there. This has gone on way too long. If you've joined us for this episode and made it all the way through to the end, I thank you. This has been a fun conversation and a fun episode, but check out some of our other ones where we actually talk about Evangelion or Twin Peaks in a bit more depth. I really liked our episode that we did on Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me. I thought that was really good. So check that out.
And we promise to do the missing pieces to make up for this bullshit.
Yes, we will do the missing pieces at some point as well. If you want to get in touch with us, we would absolutely love to hear from you. We really would. You can drop us an email at tp_e@gmail.com. Or check out our Instagram. We are on Instagram now, and the Instagram handle is... Take it, Vinny, because I've forgotten.
Thank you. Our Instagram is TPE Podcast.
Yeah, check us out there as well. And, music. We have a playlist now of music that we've referenced on the show. So I thought we could just add a couple of songs to the end of that. Do you have anything that you're liking at the moment, Vinny?
I mean, besides me re-listening to freaking Kamsa Todd on an endless loop ever since rewatching End of Ava for this, my other big I'm listening to is Short King Anthem by Tiny Meat Gang.
Whoa, I've never heard a song more perfectly matched to a listener than that. All right, I'll find that one and put that on the list. Yeah, I've been listening to the Smile albums. This is Tom York and Johnny Greenwood of Radiohead have teamed up with some other dude and released an album which is top notch. It's really good.
Again, very apropos of who is listening to that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'll put on. I think Thin Thing is my current obsession from that album, so I'll chuck that on there. And you know what? I'm going to chuck on another song that I really liked from Twin Peaks: The Return, which I've rediscovered lately. It's called A Violent Yet Flammable World by Au Revoir Simone. Really cool track. Yes, I'll put that on there as well. Listen. Have a listen. Alright, let's round it off there. We'll see you at the next one. See you, Vinny.
Bye-bye. More fan service next time.
Yeah, I'm going to bring a sheep into the studio.